All right, what's going on, guys? Trev back again here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing video leading up to the season 7 finale for Fear the Walking Dead, giving our thoughts on Madison's return. Alright dudes, so I decided that we will go ahead and do this video giving our thoughts on the big return, which is this Sunday for AMC Plus. And if you're watching it regular, I guess it'll be next Sunday. But most people, I think at this point, are watching it AMC Plus, AMC Premiere. Hopefully enough people are, that way they can continue the show for at least, season 8's been confirmed, but it'd be great if Fear could get a season 9. We'll see if they can end up doing that. So it's been a while since we've seen Madison in Fear the Walking Dead up to the season 4 mid-season finale. And now after all this time, we are finally seeing her return. So we did have kind of the setup for it in the no one's gone till they're gone. Now, as far as seeing this big return in Fear the Walking Dead, this one is a bit strange now that we're actually seeing it. My impression of this one is I don't think they originally intended to have Madison return later on in the series. I do think that the stadium part in the mid-season finale for season 4 was supposed to be her death, was supposed to be her final episode. But now we have it, 3-4 years later now, 4 years real world time, I think 3 years in terms of seasons. And we are seeing her return at the end of season 7 to get us set for season 8. And so I am very excited to see this episode this Sunday and to get to see Talking Dead after and see how they kind of explain this return. Now, it's not the craziest, we think a character is dead and they end up not being dead, like a fake out death ever. If you look at Thank You, if you look at Glenn with the dumpster, stuff like that. There have been some times in The Walking Dead where it seemed like somebody was definitely dead. I'm thinking especially like the Thank You situation where everybody thought that Glenn got his guts ripped out and it ended up being Nicholas on top of him. And then he kind of scoots under the dumpster in order to save himself. So now he does get killed off later anyway. So I guess in retrospect, it doesn't really matter, but people were really surprised and some people were upset that they felt that, but it was in the frames. You could see it. Now this one, we didn't actually get to see Madison's death in Fear the Walking Dead season 4. We saw her with a flare, I believe. So she had that, and then we saw the others. You had Nick and Alicia in the car, and the others that are kind of leaving with, I think the group's name was the Vultures, or at least that's what we called them, I believe, at the stadium. So kind of a group of sort of mini villains that were there for the crossover from Morgan going from the original Walking Dead television series, All Out War, into season 4 for Fear the Walking Dead. So this is one that's a bit unexpected at this point to see with Madison returning. I did think probably after about season 5 ended, going into season 6, once season 6 was like halfway point, I kind of think I was saying in the videos that, Madison's gone. She's not going to come back. That's what it is. She's dead. We should accept it as such. And I do think that Kin Dickens had said on Talking Dead, if I recall the episode, that she is that she was killed, that she was dead. But is there anybody there? And leave a comment below on how you feel about this. Do you think that this was actually intentional? So do you think that they originally kind of did a no one's gone till they're gone, kind of killed her off, but did it in such a way where they didn't show it so that later they could bring her back? Do you think that they had always intended to bring her back to life, to have her having survived that incident so we could see her later on in the series? Or do you think this is something spontaneous and actually was not something that was originally intended or was originally planned? I do have to say the timing for it is certainly strange, though, in that in episode 15, you have Alicia leaving, so you have her final episode and her leaving the series, and then the very next episode, episode 16, the finale for season 7, you have Madison coming back. So a lot of people think that maybe because Alicia wanted off the show at the last minute to kind of save face or save the fan base or save the series, they kind of scrambled and they called for Kin Dickens to return as Madison and kind of have her come back, because that way you would give fans something to kind of look forward to with the series. I do think it is strange that you just have the trade-off. I've mentioned it before in videos where you have Morgan come in, and that means for some reason that Madison has to be killed off, and then you have Madison return, but that seems to mean that you have Alicia be somewhat killed off or leave just before that happens. So definitely strange stuff, but I'm happy that they decided to bring Madison back in Fear the Walking Dead. I do think it's really good, in terms of the overall story of Fear the Walking Dead, in terms of what it means overall. And I do think that if they have her alive to the end of the series, I think that will be a really good way to kind of close up the series at the end. I'd like to see like a good ending for Fear the Walking Dead, where you have some of your heavy hitters from the beginning still there, like you have Madison, maybe you have Alicia return, you have them reunited in the final episode or something. I'm thinking along those terms as far as like what would be the best thing to see to finish off the series. How do you finish off the series in a way where it feels complete and goes back to the first season? Now, unfortunately, in the original Walking Dead TV series, we're going to see that ending coming up this fall, but I don't see there being a way that they're going to be able to really tie that back into the original group, because you have basically everybody in the original group. You just have Daryl and Carol left. Everybody else is, left the series at this point. Several people leaving. Andrew Lincoln, I'm thinking especially, unless we do see a return scene with him in the final episode or something, which would be absolutely amazing. But I don't think it's likely going to be the case unless it's in someone's mind or something. But at the end of a series, how do you wrap it up, or how do you give a final ending to the show that kind of makes it feel complete if you have a total cast changeover? It can be very difficult, right? So with Madison coming back, I think it leaves a really great potential to give Fear a really good ending when the time comes. Now, when will that be? Will that be season 9? Will that be season 10 if they get there? Or could that be season 8? Maybe it doesn't get renewed for season 9. It does 8 seasons. Then we see it wrap up at that point. Either way, I am very happy to see that Madison ended up surviving that part, and would like to see her come back for, all of season 8, hopefully, and then hopefully it gets renewed for season 9. And then if they want to end it at that point in season 9, I think that would be a good setup. You give some kind of final climactic ending at the end of Fear the Walking Dead, either with the reuniting, like I said, or maybe with Madison passing or something like that. I don't know if you would do that with Morgan. It kind of feels like to me that Morgan should probably still be alive at the end of Fear the Walking Dead. When Fear the Walking Dead ends, Morgan should probably be out there in the world still alive. Yeah. And if you do the same with Alicia and Madison, if you have them both alive at the end too, that would be a really nice way to end off, like the final episode or something, and you have them reunited. And the series you find a way to kind of have the series, end off the episode right after that or something, or in the last few episodes or something. Give it a good ending at the end, because we are kind of getting, I feel like based on the ratings and everything, we're getting closer to that point here in the next few years that AMC may want to do that. We'll see what happens. But some different questions that you guys have for Walking Dead. One from Sean, who says, "Hey Trev, what happened to Georgie in the original Walking Dead series?" So if you guys remember, Georgie was a character switched from Fear here to the original series. Georgie was a character that runs into Maggie, I believe, in and around the time of like All Out War, I think. And a lot of us thought that she was Pamela Milton. She ended up not being that. And they kind of did maybe a switch there. I don't know if she was supposed to be kind of Pamela, the TV series version of her, if she was supposed to be that character being introduced at that time, or if it was a fake out, or if it was because if it had something to do with Lauren having the other series that she had to leave Walking Dead for. But ended up, we should assume, I think, that Georgie likely would have been with Maggie, and she probably would have been killed by the Reapers, I think. I think that's the only explanation that kind of makes the most sense, is that she was with the group, Maggie went with her, and then the Reapers attacked them, and Georgie would have probably died in the exchange or in between that time period. But likely, Georgie is probably no longer alive in The Walking Dead at this point, so far as I can tell. Karen Bock says, I agree. I canceled my AMC Plus because of how bad Fear was. Don't even know if I will renew it when Walking Dead starts. So you're gonna renew it when Walking Dead starts. Come on, Karen. So also funny that your first name is Karen. That's kind of wonderful. But yeah, so people upset after episode 15, disappointed with the episode and the direction they're taking for the series, but because I think everybody wanted to see a reuniting scene with Alicia and Madison. We did get to see that. So Retro Game Sev says, Fear is dead now. Most worst writers and directors I have ever seen. So a lot of people don't really like the current showrunning team, I think, and the writing team for Fear. I'm not sure why. I mean, I think that season 7 had some really great ideas in it with the tower and with Strand. Even the nuke the year before of season 6, that was awesome. Season 6 might go down as my favorite season of Fear the Walking Dead. I really think it was great all the way through, well written, and some awesome villains there, and then an epic finale for the season. So season 6 of Fear, I think maybe the best season ever, that or season 3. Season 7, I just think that with the battle at the tower and the way things have kind of worked out here, I think it didn't really make sense so much with Strand. I kind of feel like after the things that Strand did with him throwing so many people off the tower and just to their demise, like he just throw people, find a walkie-talkie in someone's mattress, he just throws them off, throws them off the tower. It was so brutal for him to do that and made him such a villain that I don't see, I don't see why they would still have him alive after all of that is done. I would think that he probably, in the climactic battle for the tower, I would have thought that Strand would have been ultimately defeated there and would have likely been killed off. It is strange to see Strand still alive after season 7, because you'd think at that point he probably would have been killed off just based on the way the story was going and everything. Instead, they kind of had Wes kind of come in and take over that role and then kind of make Strand and Alicia allies again. Then they fight against Wes. And then they fight amongst themselves afterwards. It kind of becomes a bit of a chaotic mess to a degree, right? It feels a bit overcomplicated, I think. So I'm not sure exactly what to say, but if you would have had Howard, I think if you would have had Howard just stay and fill Wes's role, so instead of Wes coming up and taking over, maybe Howard finally turns on Strand. Strand doesn't throw him off the tower, but Howard finally turns on Strand, and maybe they throw John off the tower or something like that. I don't know. And June escapes with the baby or something. You could have done it differently that way. But then you'd have Howard turn on Strand maybe when he sides with Alicia and Howard can't stand or can't go for it. If you'd have done that, I think it would have been a little bit better, because then, it just would have fit a little bit better, I think. But I don't know. It's up to you guys. Leave your comments below. Let me know what you think about season 7 as a whole, in that we really just have one episode left with Morgan and it looks like Madison, and that'll be the highlight for it. But it was kind of a climactic season with the tower and everything. I thought it worked out really great in terms of it being exciting and everything like that. But I do think that this probably should have been Strand's last season. I don't see why Strand would survive and kind of become a member of the group again after him throwing so many people off the tower and everything else. That makes him a villain, and I don't think he really would fit with Morgan in the group. After that, maybe they will ostracize him, kick him out, something like this. But I don't know. Maybe they want to use him with Madison or something soon here. Maybe that's why. So yeah, that'll be it for this video today, guys. We will say Sue's Mord had one other one. If Madison wasn't coming back, I don't think I could sit through another season of Fear the Walking Dead. Yeah, it's surprising. A lot of people not being that happy with how season 7 turned off. I don't know. There's good and bad to it. I did think the tower was quite awesome. But, the new class season was also really good. So I don't know. Something about season 7, people just not loving that much for whatever reason, the way it ended off. I don't know. Because it kind of has already had its finale, I feel like, with episode 15. And now having Madison come back feels like it's kind of it feels like it's sort of like a cliffhanger set up for next season to keep people watching, where if you'd have had episode 15 have been the true finale, episode 16, then maybe they were concerned not that many people would come back the year after for season 8. So by having Madison come back in episode 16, then you set it up where people can see her more in season 8 the year after. So that's kind of my thoughts on Madison Returning, guys. Let me know what you think. Leave your comments below. Is it enough for you to want to keep going with Fear to come back for season 8? Is it intriguing enough? And do you hold out hope that you could see them reunited at some point? Or do you think that you're not interested after episode 15? You want to, or maybe just season 7 as a whole, you're not that interested after. Let me know what you think. That's it for this video, guys. I'll see you again soon for another. As always, this is Trev, and I'm saying peace. Later, guys. See you soon.